Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's show with Niche Website Builders. And we have Eleanor back, going to give us some more website teardowns, niches to think about, and all of that kind of good stuff. The people behind me, Eleanor, were joking about the niches today. Is it going to be pencils or some pots and pans? It's always some weird ass niche.
Yeah.
But we are going to have a presentation from Elna, and then we can do some question and answers when she has finished her presentation. Please do let us know where you are listening in from in the chat, and any questions that you do put in the chat just now, we will answer after Elena's presentation, just so we're not rudely interrupting her. But if you've got anything you want me to stop her for during the presentation, if there's something she's talking about and you say, I need to talk right now, also let us know that in the chat as well. And we will try and interrupt her politely and get something answered if it's important. So, yeah, Eleanor, the stage is yours.
Cool. Thank you. Me and Craig were just literally before the stream, we're talking about Ahrefs. So I apologize in advance because Ahrefs is unable to load some of the tabs I need to perform this presentation. However, I've found some ways around it, so I apologize in advance. So to your surprise, Craig, actually I've got two normal H domains. They're not as obscure as you might think in terms of niche. They're fairly normal. So I'm going to share my screen as usual, and we're going to get straight to it. Okay, so RVLifestyleExperts.com. I mean, it's exactly what you think it is. Now, first of all, before I begin, I'll just like to quickly mention that if you like what you see, both of these expired domains are available on the niche website site for purchase. So if you go to nichewebsite.builders and go to H domains inventory, you'll be able to find them there as well. So DR27, 353 referring domains. And as I said, like, it's exactly what you think it is. The domain was all about RVs. And it was kind of a passion project for the people that ran this blog. And they shared all things RV lifestyle, from choosing your RV to earning money on the road, traveling solo, healthcare and the RV lifestyle, RV books. It basically was the hotspot for RVs. So it's a big niche, to be honest. It can be a little bit seasonal, but as we're approaching summer and spring right now, it is the perfect time to get into this niche and start growing this site. So, as you can see, Ahrefs is not loading the DR of the backlink profile. So, for me to be able to show you what these domains got, we always have write-ups on the site anyway. So, I've taken the domains from the write-ups and I've put them on here. So, the backlinks consist of US Today, NBS News, The Balance, Apple Insider, Hub Pages, nextvenue.org, Good Sam, Coast Helper, gmx.com, rvlife.com, which is excellent backlink because it's DR72, niche relevant. So for me, that backlink is one of the best. We have the funtimesguide.com and the Wandering RV, which is another niche relevant backlink as well. So actually, before I move on, let's take a look at the strategy for this domain. So as I said, like, the RV space is massive. A lot of people, have an RV and, like, as a holiday, they take the RV, park it somewhere, do some camping and just relax, But the strategy is RV guides. Now, this could mean many things. If we're going to take a look at some competitors in a second, but this consists of, like, everything you need to know about your RV, like, I don't know, how to, just any question you can think of. I don't have an RV, so I haven't got a clue. But camping and RVs kind of go hand in hand. So obviously you're going to have to park your RV, and then you're going to have to camp, like chairs and stuff and barbecue and all that sort of thing. So that's why I put camping in there. And then I'm thinking potentially expand to other outdoor activities. Because again, like, goes hand in hand with outdoors. So maybe hiking, potentially something we can look at. But ultimately, we have to preserve that relevancy of that expired domain and make sure that we cover RV quite thoroughly before we commit to expanding to other silos. So the monetization can come from display adverts, of course, but also from affiliate programs on everything outdoors, VR, RV, and camping gear, etc. I've seen some competitors list a lot of RVs from kind of small to larger ones to price ranges, etc. So there is money to be made in this niche, to be honest. Now, the anchor text for this expired domain are pretty good. We're seeing branded at the top, which is great. Then we have other stuff related to the niche. So there isn't really anything negative to say about the anchor text profile. Best pages by incoming links. Now, we are seeing that at the very top, a PDF is getting the most links, but you often see that this is a common theme that when you see a lot of backlinks pointed towards a PDF or an image, they're often low quality scraper types of websites. So if I expand these, you just see that the quality is just scraper, blogspot. It just happens a lot. So I wouldn't worry too much that the top page that's getting the most link is a PDF, and I don't really care about it because the quality of those backlinks are not great. But for example, if I expand the homepage, which is on the second spot, we're going to see some quality backlinks like these. So that's totally fine. Obviously, some internal pages, apart from PDFs, are getting some backlinks as well. We are seeing, for example, let's take a look. Loads of PDFs, but that's fine. We can just ignore this. Let me see if I have a page that we need to recreate. So, for example, this is a guest post, maybe not. So maybe this one, Dead Horse Ranch State Park, a gem. God, that sounds weird. We have RV poll. How many states have you RV'd in? This could be something creative that we can do with this post. And obviously, it depends on the quality of these backlinks. The reason why I'm looking at these backlinks is because if a certain internal page is getting like good quality backlinks pointed to it, then ideally what you want to do is recreate that post, making it very similar to what this post historically was, and then page to page performing a 301 redirect on there so that you preserve the relevancy as much as possible so you can preserve those backlinks. But ultimately, we're not seeing a lot that we're going to need to recreate. A lot of them are PDFs with some low quality backlinks pointed to them, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, let's take a look at some competitors. So RVOwnerHQ.com, they are 8. So these guys are lower authority than us, and they generate 32,000 per month according to Ahrefs. Now, I apologize. Obviously, my top pages for this competitor is not loading due to technical issues with Ahrefs. Instead, I'm going to open the site itself, and we're going to take a look at some of the content they're doing. So as you can see, they're heavily focusing on RV, as the name suggests. RV costs, RV accessories is a great way where you can monetize. And then we have all different types of RVs, drivable RVs, and info for beginners. The info for beginners is probably what we're going to be targeting the most to start with, at least. So find the perfect generator size for your 50 AMP RV. What else have we got? Should a travel trailer be stored level? Answered. 8 must-see campers you can pull with Ford Expedition. What do you put under RV jacks? 5 best options. So these are the kind of queries that I was talking about on our RV guides based on our strategy. So these are the things that I had in mind. So yeah, this is kind of the guide section for all of them. And the RV accessories is more like buying things to go with your RV. Obviously, these are very highly, these are affiliate type of content, commercial, they're trying to monetize those. So for example, let's take a look at what else they do. They have some information, which is good. Amazon, top 25 RV must-haves. Amazon, they're definitely monetizing that. But you get the point. Like, they do loads of different things regarding RVs, from beginner's guides to more commercially based content. The second competitor I want to show you is still lower authority than us, RVLiving.com. They are 17, so lower authority than us, doing better, generating 41,000 per month according to Ahrefs. Now, What I find really interesting about this domain is that look at how it's just shot up to the sky. Oops, no, it's not this one. The traffic here is like shot up to the sky, and it's the domain looks like it was picked up by Ahrefs in 14th of April 2022. So this domain is not even a year old, and it's just shot up. Whether they've cracked on the strategy and they've done really, really good content strategy, or it's quite likely they're doing something black hat, or they're just really cracked it and they're doing really well. But what really is really interesting about this competitor is that they're heavily focusing on commercial content, so best travel trailer brands, lightweight campers under 2,000 LBS. So let's take a look at this. So yeah, they do things like this, but I wonder whether they've monetized this. They've obviously listed the features. They must have monetized this. It's like reviewing a blender, but instead of doing it on this. But if you look at the keywords in general, they're heavily monetized. Best travel trailers for couples 2021. We have best travel trailers under 4,000 LBS. For full-time living, we have under this. So yeah, protector, best RV search protectors, definitely monetized. So yeah, I found this a little bit interesting because heavily commercially focused content, at least for what they're ranking for. If you're seeing their site, obviously they do have kind of like a guide section, guide and maintenance. But like that's fine. Obviously, they've got informational pieces of content. That's totally fine. But it looks like they are ranking at the very top of commercial content. Ultimately, they're doing a great job. And one of our obviously methods is called tomb rating method. So we come in here and we take their best performing content, make it better, and hopefully outrank them because of our authority and age. Because these guys seem to be very, very young, not even a year old yet. Finally, we have a nomadsinnature.com. They are 15, so again, lower authority than us. They've taken off quite nicely, then had a slight dip, then taken off again. Good traffic. They are 3 years old or so. Yeah, no, 2 years old. So it's still very young. Again, Ahrefs not loading, so I've opened the site. And these guys, again, like bang on exactly what we're about. RV life, hiking trips. So that is why I'm thinking, well, if this domain is performing relatively good, I would say, for DR15, and they have RV life and hiking trips, which tells me maybe it's a good idea for us to expand to other outdoor activities as well, not just focus on RV. And if I click on RV life, because obviously that's what we care about for now, they do different things, like from commercial content, 7 best travel trailers to buy in 2023, just classic affiliate type of content. And then this is more informational, cost of living on an RV in a full time. Then we have 10 best dispersed campsites, which is fine. Best batteries, definitely commercial. Accessories, probably monetized. This is more informational. So you get the point, like, this is giving us good ideas of what sort of content we can do, and content that's performing well. These guys have got generating 44,000 per month. So definitely giving us an idea of how we can move to achieve that as well, with more authority, better backlinks, and obviously a higher, and we're obviously older than these sites as well. So the next HMA I want to show you is very similar to the previous one, because it's more travel really, but obviously this one is not focusing on RVs. This is more general travel domain called Travel Chameleon. I'm so terrible with pronouncing stuff. Now this domain was a passion blog owned by a lady, I believe was from Malaysia. So she's right here. She initially focused heavily on traveling in Malaysia. Obviously, it's her country. But she expanded around the world. So Asia, Europe, North America, Africa, South America, travel favorites, her favorites, road trips. So you can easily say this domain is definitely in the general travel space, if you like. It's not like focusing on location. Travel planning, guides. It's just a perfect site that if you want to start a general travel site. Travel community, by the looks of it here, travel resources. Obviously, she dedicated a whole category just for Malaysia, which is fine. I mean, obviously it's her. That's where she's from. She traveled heavily in Malaysia, and then she expanded around the world. Where she's been, like meet her, contact, etc. So DR16, my referring domains are not loading. I apologize, but once again, I have listed them here. So we have Pinterest, Atlas, atlasobscura.com. We have Nomadic Mad, Insporock. We have Tate News, postcrossing.com, holidiving.com, says.com, tourradar.com. We have whytravelblog.com. Nice. Now it rhymes really well when you say it. Why travel, but just why. Very cool. Niche relevant DR70, very good. Romancingtheplanet.com. Wow, sounds a bit weird, but hey. So let's take a look at the anchor text. So again, like we're seeing branded at the top. I'm happy with that. Then she's got things related to the niche, but I'm happy that obviously we have branded at the top. We have favorite food that she likes to visit or order, etc. We have again branded here. Fee, I think is how you pronounce it, is her name. So she owned the blog. If I go back, you see Meet Fee. She's the owner of the blog. So I consider this a branded anchor text because obviously it's about the name of the lady that ran the blog. We have again naked anchor text here, kind of branded in here. So yeah, I'm happy with the anchor text profile. Nothing to mention here. Now, best page by incoming links, we're seeing very repetitive from the last example. If I click to expand, these are going to be low quality backlinks. And it's, as you can see, it's JPEG, so it's an image. And you can see it's like spam with Blogspot. This is no intentional spam. Don't worry, don't freak out. Oh my God, this is spam. You know, Blogspot everywhere. It tends to be visiting every site, if you like, especially images for some reason. And PDFs, they tend to target these heavily. But you know, we have another JPEG here, so I would ignore these two. I wouldn't worry about them. Third spot is the homepage. Happy with that. PNG JPEG here. We do have some internal posts that are more normal, like my first Cuckoo Mia AstraZeneca vaccination experience. I don't think this is related to much relevant to travel. Obviously, at the time, she was probably traveling. She needed a vaccine. Fair enough. But that probably wouldn't be a page we'll need to recreate for a travel site. It's not relevant. More images here. We have how to renew your Malaysian passport in 2 hours. As you can see, heavily she's talked about Malaysia. Anything else we could see here? Loads of images. We have travel across Cambodia with Book Me Bus. Okay, that's cool. I mean, this is a type of content that I'll be interested to recreate and redirect. Let's take a look at the quality of those backlinks. Because if the quality is pretty low, I mean, would you want to recreate that piece of content? If it's highly relevant, then if it was, for example, 10 essential things to pack on a budget travel, then even if the quality of the backlinks are not great, I'll still recreate because it's relevant. But this is quite niche, so it's traveling across Cambodia with Book Me Bus. So it's kind of but we have Book Me Bus that's been linked there, and I'm just wondering whether it might be worth recreating that. Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's relevant. It's a kind of travel backlink. I'll take it. I'll probably recreate that post and redirect it. But you get the idea. So loads of images here, which we'll ignore, and some posts that may need recreating. Okay, so the strategy, general travel site. First of all, obviously, we all know, unfortunately, the travel industry was one of those industries alongside other industry during COVID-19 that was hit really badly. The thing is, though, obviously, people like to travel and experience things, you know, and since, you know, COVID's kind of eased off, people start to travel like mad again, searching for stuff. So I think now is like the perfect time to start a travel blog. Especially now that we're approaching summer, spring, now is the time to people to travel like mad. So it's great time, just like the RV experiment I just showed you. This one is very good timing as well. So the content strategy is just listicle types of content around the best things to do in X and Y city. So 100 things to see in New York City, what to do in Mexico, what to do in London, best places to eat in London, best places to visit in Germany, all that sort of thing is kind of where this is at. Best food places. Obviously, when you travel, there is food involved. Like, come on, like, let's say you're visiting Morocco, you want to experience their culture, eat like a local, try their cuisine, So what's the best place to eat, right? We can do food markets, restaurants, something more casual. Yeah, definitely look to explore that as well. And we can have guide section that's more dedicated to what to pack, tips for traveling on a budget, traveling with kids, traveling with dogs, traveling with pets. Yeah, things like that. The monetization can come from, of course, from display adverts as usual, but from affiliate programs on anything to do with travel. For example, I don't know, like a travel bag or bank or charging bank free phone, like all sort of things like that. So, luckily, one of my best competitors that I want to show you is loading. And this competitor is called roamingtheus.com. They are 20, generating 212,000 per month according to Ahrefs. For DR20, I would say this is pretty awesome. 277 pages, so we're not talking thousands and thousands of posts, and they're just killing it. And they really targeted an amazing destination, because the US is what pays the most. If you get US traffic, the adverts will pay you the most. And these guys, with generating that much traffic, they're making a bank just from display adverts, really. So here's what they do. They do like listicles as well, from what I was talking about, best cities to visit in the US. And this falls into, so rather than saying best things to do, best places to visit. So for example, it could be for a purpose, best romantic cities to visit, best, best hiking places to visit, best places to go out in the woods or whatever. Like, yeah, you get it. Romantic vacations in the US, winter vacations in the US, cabins, beach towns in Texas, cabins with hot tubs in Ohio. I mean, why not? It makes a nice weekend, doesn't it? Places to visit during Christmas, road trips, romantic cabins, best places to visit the US in February, best places to visit the US in November. You can do that by month. Why not? Seems to be working. That's exactly what these guys has done. What else we got? Warm winter vacations in the US. Sounds great. If you're in the winter, you want to go somewhere warm, that's a great. Vacation spots in Texas. We have some breweries, which is kind of relevant, because if you are in town, like let's say you're visiting somewhere, you're looking, what can I do? You're a beer lover. You're thinking, maybe there's a brewery in town. I can check it out. And boom, San Antonio breweries. Summer vacation, best fall vacations in the US, road trips from Dallas, nice restaurants in Houston. Again, like these guys that are doing really well, are reassuring us that we are onto the right track in terms of strategy. They're doing restaurants. Why couldn't we do restaurants? See, best food places to go, etc. What else have we got? Street houses, restaurants again, things to do in Colorado, which falls again into listicles content about the best things to do in X and Y city. Yeah, it's just beautiful. It's slightly high authority now. So these guys DR20, we're DR16, but they're not far off. With a bit of link building, we'll definitely catch them up and hopefully do better than them as well. alwaysontheshore.com, DR18, so just 2 DRs higher than us, generating 47,000 per month. Unfortunately, the Ahrefs is not loading, so I'm going to have to open the site again. It's just a travel site, all things general travel stuff, destinations to visit, travel resources, travel itineraries. So let's take a look. Destinations: Florida, Central Florida. We have general Florida post, the Caribbean, Carolina coast, and that sort of thing. What else? Travel resources. Let's take a look at what that is. Right, so they do tours and excursions, kayak tours, dolphin, boats, 6 best Sarasota and Anna Maria Island dolphin tours. I mean, tours are part of travel, I remember I went to Barcelona once, and I wanted to find a food tour. And what do? You Google it, right? What are the best food tours in Barcelona? And going to one. So it's definitely part of travel. let's take a look at what this one. Right, these guys do clear beach water itinerary. As you can see by the travel guide. Wow, nice. Right, okay. Interesting. This is kind of like a post about Clearwater Beach travel guide and itinerary. Nice. 5-day travel guide. Cool. So yeah, you get the point. And finally, travelcroc.com. Yeah, 19, generating 100,000 per month, according to Ahrefs. I think travel is an amazing niche. Because you can dedicate a whole site just for one location. It's that big. It's like the food niche. You can dedicate just one site for, let's say, I don't know, just dinner, right? And it's the same with travel. Like with travel, you can dedicate one site just for Asia, for example. And this site, roaming the US, is dedicated just to the US, and they're killing it. So, yeah, I just want to mention that. Let's see if this opens. Fingers crossed that this travel croc loads. Ooh, it's loading. Woo! Right, so these guys do clear beaches in Florida, Malibu hikes, rooftop restaurants. Again, kind of reassures us that travel and food go hand in hand. Does it snow in Texas? Things to do in Poconos. Right, what else? Miami to the Bahamas. How do you get there? Things to do in South Beach, Miami. Sounds good. Best wineries, flea market, hikes again, hiking, driving in Spain, things like that. So they're a little bit different than the other guys, the other examples, but generating 100,000. And I think some of the things they're ranking for is relevant. Definitely things we can take from this competitor as well. So this kind of summarizes these two expired domains. As I said, both of them are available for purchase if you like them. Now is really the time to get into the travel scene, because as I said, spring's coming and summer is around the corner as well. Let's hope we have some questions now.
We do have some, but just a reminder, guys, if you do have questions, they don't have to be relevant to what Alina has just shown. They can be affiliate in general, building out websites, whatever. So happy to answer any questions, but we'll start with Aaron Semenov. The old chat GPT questions. What do you think is going to happen to informational dominant websites with the rise of chat GPT, which can easily answer these queries? Do you think there's going to be still a demand for it, for websites?
Yeah, I think so. It comes from personal touch, experience. It comes with pictures, connecting with someone, going on a site, seeing what they've talked about, seeing their experience. Oftentimes, obviously, as SEOs, when you write about a topic about best things to do in Dallas, US, obviously, we probably haven't been there. But the person doesn't know. Like, if you're someone like who's clueless about SEO and you want to Google or just find information about what to do in Dallas, you're probably likely to Google it. So I still think it's, SEO is not dead, and content sites is far from being dead because of ChatGPT. ChatGPT has got its own issues as well. So I think there's nothing to worry about yet. And obviously, I think at least for the next 3 to 5 years, while ChatGPT is still in development, there is absolutely zero concern in terms of that. So yeah, I wouldn't worry.
I think I've been playing around with ChatGPT, and it was great at the start. It was churning out some great stuff, but there's been some shit that is spat out recently, and you're like, whoa, it is literally, misinforming people. So I think you're right to some to some degree. I think it has its problems on its own, but I still think people buy into people as well, and I think if you want to read a blog, you're wanting to see a bit of personality. You want to, we don't want a robotic world, do we? Like just chat GPT, boom. You want a laugh, a bit of personality, a video, some funny images behind stuff when you're educating or even looking for information. I think the old personality thing.
Yeah. I'm also very visual. Like, I appreciate video. I appreciate images. I'd like to see it. I'd like to experience personal touch, reading from people. Yeah.
So hopefully that's the way it goes, Aaron, but who knows? Who knows? Paul Hogden, is it better to go for a better domain with a lower DR or a high DR with a worse domain? Hard one to answer for you, Paul. Personally, but Elena, you had the choice. Really good brandable domain, and you're like, this is the one. But the metrics are fairly shitty. Would you be forced to go for the other one with better metrics just because it had more links?
So for me, the domain doesn't matter, but it matters to some people. Like if you're looking to establish a brand and you like that name, then go for the name. But as someone that I don't really care about the domain name, I care about the SEO value more. If the domain with the worst name has got better value in terms of SEO, better backlinks, better history, etc., I'm going to go for that domain. But yeah, that's just personal opinion. It depends on what you're trying to achieve. Is the brand important to you? Is the name important to you? Then do what's important to you.
I also love Maeve's answer here, by the way. Maeve has said she would basically go for both, and she would redirect the higher DR to the lower DR.
Or that.
I got it, Maeve. I got it. But yeah, if there's two domains sitting there, Paul, and you're like, if budget allows, you could potentially grab both and get the power from the much higher DR. But I think it too many people obsess over these metrics, DR and all that. Now, yes, we want a head start. If we can afford to get an expired domain with decent DR, of course, we want a leg up. We want to have those domain metrics in place. But if you're trying to build a brand, I wouldn't be forced into anything with a DR, because you can do the redirect thing. And I think some of the case studies that the guys at Niche Website Builders have done, I think Adam was shown a project a few weeks back, and I think he'd done six redirects into one project. So he was being a greedy bandit and wanted the power from 6 domain names all into this one domain name. And obviously that strategy works very well. So for me, Paul, go after the better domain name and do an add-on. You can still grab other domain names. It doesn't have to be 1 or 2. Adam done 6. And I'm pretty sure he's probably done more than that on other projects. That was just one, and I think it was a couple of weeks ago the episode went out. So if you want to find out more about what he done, check that out. And you're right, Maeve, it's all about the links. So there you go. Farida, hello from Tanzania. Speaking of Chameleon, I've been working with them for quite some time now, and they really do got potential clients. So good to hear it. Good to hear it. Keep the questions coming, guys. Maeve says, "Whoa."
Sorry.
Oh, no worries. It's been a lot worse. I've had someone in a podcast and their dog wouldn't shut up for the full hour. And it came to the point near the end where she's like, right, I can't concentrate anymore. I need to go, this dog. So your dog's been relatively well behaved compared to some. But my thoughts are, yes, a slice of traffic might be trimmed, but you'll still have the same amount of advertisers wanting sites. So RPMs increase, but lower traffic. And that's with the whole chat GPT situation. So, yeah, people still want traffic no matter what. That's the bottom line. More traffic equals more revenue, as far as I'm concerned. So I don't see the other thing I would throw into the mix there. We know what chat GPT is. I know if I was to walk out in the street right now and say to the guy across the road, what about chat GPT? Do you think it's going to be like, what the fucking hell is chat GPT? The world doesn't know what chat GPT is. It's only guys like us that work in this space. So I think ChatGPT would have to massively, massively, it's going to take a long, long time because everyone just thinks of Google. It's in your phone. Google this, Google that, Google whatever. You're abroad and you're in Barcelona looking for stuff. Just Google it.
Habit. It's hard to break a habit.
Yeah. And older people, they've just got around to getting onto Google. So change them again.
It's true.
It's not going to happen. I certainly know that my parents are not the best when it comes to online things. So trying to probably get them onto Chat GPT or something is just a no-go. So there's still going to be people and lots of them. So I think we've got a while yet. Aaron says, I recently redirected 10 expired domains to a fresh brandable domain and it immediately started ranking. What do you see happens here, Elena, when someone does that? Do you see it starting to rank, then maybe a slight dip, and then it goes back up? How do you ever do that with fresh domains and do a lot of redirects?
So with fresh domains, typically we don't mind redirecting them straight away. Depends on how fresh the domain is. Like we tend to recommend that we direct expired domains onto fresh domains after the fresh domain has aged a little bit, like maybe a couple of months. But we have seen results with redirecting aged domains to fresh domains almost immediately, and they've been great. But what we have found is that it either takes for the benefits of the expired domain redirect to take effect, so they take longer, and most of the time you tend to lose more of the backlinks from the expired domains if you're directing to fresh domains than if you were directing to a relatively old domain, maybe 6 months or so. So typically, yeah, you would see like a climb, and after the benefits have kind of gone through, obviously for plateau until you redirect another one or you start building links through other methods. But ultimately, redirecting age domains to fresh domains works, but generally what I recommend is that let them age a bit and then redirect them for better results.
Cool. I am just trying to find a website here. Give me 2 secs. A slide, sorry, that I have made recently. Oh, not that one. Give me 2 ticks. Yeah. So I've got them. I'm going to share my screen for a second. So Maeve says, and rightly so, ChatGPT is on the rise. Her sister, who works in the real world, was telling me about it at the weekend. I do think that people will use it for a number of other things. Whether that be writing your tweets, which I have done, whether that be writing your privacy policy, whether that be whatever. I think ChatGPT is a really good thing. However, let me show you something. What the hell? Why is it not allowing me to share my screen? Present, share screen. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Window. It's changed.
It has.
On screen share.
There we go. Oh.
Yeah, here we are. A website with AI content. And there's another one. It's fallen off a cliff.
I can't see. I can see the screen, but it's only on ours. It's showing us. It's not showing your tab. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Maybe just me, I don't know.
Share screen. Yeah, the little thing, entire screen. That's what I want to be doing.
Yeah, that's
entire screen. Bloody hell! I'm supposed to know what I'm doing with things.
There we go.
That's a website that was using AI content. It fell off a cliff. There's another one building up nicely and falling off a cliff. I have websites that I'm currently hammering just now with ChatGPT, and it's not sticking.
No,
not sticking for the long. I mean, they're already starting to fall off a cliff. They're not dead by any stretch of the imagination, and some are sticking more than others. I also have websites where I'm doing a little bit of editing and a bit of
Yeah.
paraphrasing. But writing the HR policy, writing, there's people doing fucking their exams with this chat GPT, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I think it's an amazing
True.
thing
Yeah.
to do, but I just think, sadly for us, it's not sticking well, and I don't think it will. I think Google will come down and punish a lot of stuff. Now I know people say, nah, Google have said, if the content's relevant and good enough and it serves
Yeah.
the purpose of the search, then they're quite happy to rank it. I'm not sure how true that is.
I'm not sure how I feel about this. Did you read? It was recently Google came out and said actually AI content is automated content is fine as long as it proves EAT, double E, and other stuff. Make sure it's human or like relevant, whatever. I find it a little bit, but I watched a video case study from Matt Diggity, who launched a new site using AI content only, and it did really well. So I guess it depends. He obviously uses tools like originally the AI and
Yeah.
other tools to detect whether, because obviously he pumps through the ChatGPT, but then he tweaks it. His team tweaks it to make sure it passes the AI test. So it sounds like it's human. So he's seeing great results, but yeah, I'm interested. I'm waiting to see more studies. I'm waiting to see more time that passes to see what the effect of those AI content is. But yeah, some people have seen success, some not so much.
I think the big thing for me is I've seen people having massive success, and you could make a lot of money in that short period of time,
Yeah,
and then reinvest that money wisely. So it's all down to you and how far you want to push things and all that stuff. And like you've said there, I think I have done pure chat GPT content. I have done stuff that's paraphrased and had some human edits to see if that stuff sticks longer, because I just want to see. I need to try and understand how this works, and trying to do a whole bunch of different stuff. So interesting. And do you know what? I'm for one that I love stuff like that. If it did work for the long term, I would absolutely love it. So I don't want to be seen as one of those guys going, chat GPT's shit and all that stuff. Fuck it. If it helps
yeah,
me do my work faster, then happy days.
yeah.
Uh,
Agreed.
so,
Agreed.
and happy days for everyone else as
Yeah,
well.
agreed.
But other questions, folks, if you have them, please put them in the chat. Doesn't have to be chat GPT. It can be about affiliate websites. It can be about whatever you like. Let us know. And Maeve says that using ChatGPT for that policy for her sister saved her a bit of day's work.
I bet.
My question to you, Maeve, was: did your sister tell her superiors that that she'd done it all herself and was sweating it out for like 8 hours when it took her probably 20 minutes? I'm just curious to know that part of it.
I bet you didn't.
Yeah, she'll be
I
like,
wouldn't.
that was a good 8 hours. 8 hours of shopping on the internet. Curious to know the answer to that, Maeve, before we go. But guys, last opportunity to put questions in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to let Elena go and get on with her day. Take advantage while she's here. Excellence. Good to see you as well. I couldn't possibly comment. I just found it hilarious, her trying to teach me about ChatGPT. Couldn't possibly comment. I know what I'm taking from that, Maeve. I know your sister's taking full credit for that article and claimed it was all handwritten. So happy days. I think that's fuck it. Why not? But Elena, I think the questions are there is one. Excellence. How do you work with two clients in the same niche? We have had this question before from a niche website builder's perspective. They cannot afford to just do one niche for one client. It just doesn't make commercial sense for those guys to stick, if they've got a plumber, whatever, to not work with another person. It just wouldn't make sense. For me, as an SEO guy, if I had a plumber in Glasgow, for example, would I do another plumber in Glasgow to compete with myself? Probably not. I think just morally, I've always kind of stayed clear of it and went, nah, not for me. But of course, you can do plumbers in other cities and other locations. That's how I used to work it. It wasn't a written agreement. I could have done it, but I don't see there being any point in competing with myself. But like I say, for niche website builders, of course, they're going to build out competing websites. That's their job to do that. And so I don't think they could, unless you're throwing money down the pan, which no one wants to do. But the questions are quiet today, Alina, so you're going to get off.
That's all right.
Than normal, but I'm sure you can put the time wisely into something else.
Exactly.
But if anyone loves what you're talking about, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah. So I guess best place you can find me is LinkedIn. If you search for my full name, black and white picture on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. Obviously, I work for niche website builders. So if you want to reach out and check out our services, go to nichewebsite.builders and get in touch with us.
And how do you pronounce that surname? Diogerova?
Yeah, you got that right. It's that. It really is. You got it right.
Diogerova.
Yeah.
Thought I'd give it a bash.
Oh, good. That must be the best version I've heard of it so far, to be honest.
We have one other question from Maeve. How would you deal with an age domain? Do you do tier 2 links to the backlinks? Always, Maeve. For me, I'll push the boat or push the boundaries harder than the guys at niche website builders, purely because people will see potential risk in that strategy, or they're not being paid enough to go that level down. But yeah, I think when you buy an age domain and you've got some decent backlinks there, why wouldn't you want to power that up with some niche edits and stuff like that? So I think it's crazy not to. I think the cost of a niche edit is far cheaper than many people realize. If you're getting it, the root cost, and I think it's a great way to also make sure that any of your backlinks do stay in the index anyway. So there's a two-pronged approach there. It is about building more power to the backlinks, but also retaining those backlinks in the index. So always, where budget allows, Maeve, I would 100% do that. And maybe even a tier 3. But hey, what can I say? Money Robot's always been a good tool for me. But I'm going to shut up because the people at niche website builders will be like, shut up. So it's their show. I don't want to corrupt everyone into that. But yeah, I think everyone's different. Niche website builders will give you a platform, and then it's up to you in terms of strategy to move on. Tier 2 links, what I would say is potentially speak to Brad and Mike. They can do it, but there's many tier 2 links out there. In my private mastermind, I teach a lot of people where to get them all by themselves for the real low cost. I don't want to say anything publicly. Just don't want to shoot anyone in the foot. But yeah, Brad and Mike can certainly supply niche edits, as do many other suppliers. I get my own. But yeah, so that I can handpick what's going on and what power they've got and all that stuff. So I would always say try and get them yourself where possible. You retain a whole element of control. And yeah, harass them, Maeve. Harass them. That's what they're there for. But on that note, Alina, thank you very much again for coming on. think this is like your fourth or fifth, maybe. I don't know.
I think
But but yeah, reach out to Alina if you like what she's got to say on LinkedIn, and do check out the guys at Niche Website Builders using the link below. Thank you,
Great.
everyone.
Thanks for having me. Thank you,
Bye
guys.
bye.